All right, everybody. Welcome to the Fans Edge podcast, y'all. This will be hosted by yourself, Michael Wilson, aka 216 Wild Boy, and your boy EJ Laflare. This
EG
will also
Laflare.
EG, my bad.
It's all good.
And it's also produced by Walt K. Disney. This is a sports show with the college football focus that allows fans to create topics and discussions.
So we want to make sure that you all follow our social media channels. We want you to subscribe to our show and join the discussion. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure you follow us at The Fans Edge. We stream live every Sunday night, and the show will be available on podcast platforms every Monday morning. Also, we do not own any video rights.
Let's go.
Let's get to the intros.
Let's go. As you know, it's your boy EG Laflare with 216 Wild Boy, Mike, and the super producer, Walt motherfucking Disney. Excuse my French. Let's do this.
Yeah. So, EG, man, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, I'm EG Laflare. As we know, me and Mike actually went to college together, and we were very competitive throughout those years of 2010 to 2015. And we always had a thing for comparing the SEC to the Big Ten. And we thought this would be a good idea to come together and discuss our differences. Also, this is not a professional platform. This is something the fans can tune into. This is the fans' point of view. Me, Mike, and Disney, we're also fans. So we're just expressing our love for the game and explaining the new rules and new things about college football. Today, specifically about the NIL deals and how we feel about those.
Yeah, and as Mike, as your other host, I'll be bringing you all, like you said, a Big Ten and a Pac-12, perspective. And I believe this will bring great debate, not just between me and EG and Disney, but also the fans. Like I said, this is you all show. Y'all get to drive the discussion, and we're here. Hey, we're here to help you all out.
Oh, yeah. And to piggyback off of Mike, the Fans Edge, again, is created for the viewers. So it's allow the fans to create topics and discussions. So you know what that means? We need you. The show is will not be a success without you. So I need everyone who's watching right now to make sure you go like and subscribe to all of our social media pages. Make sure you also share our content because we're trying to bring you the latest, hottest college football information, as well as other sports, depending on the day. So you can stay up to date with the latest content. Also, you get to create the discussion. So if you see anything going on in the sports world, especially college football, please be sure to submit your questions and or video. And you can also tag us on social media as well. We would love to have you on our show. So if interested in jumping on, we would like for you to take a look at the link on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah. And just going along with that, what we have for you all fans, we're definitely going to be at these college games. I'm planning on being at the Texas A&M and Arkansas game that is actually right down in Arlington. So I'll be there with you all, probably giving you all some Fans Edge memorabilia, things like that. And also asking y'all for y'all perspective and doing interviews. So anybody who's down to do an interview and give their perspective, probably gonna get some free Fans Edge merchandise.
Yeah, and me personally, I'm coming from Athens, Georgia. I'm currently very close to the University of Georgia. So I plan to be at most of their games this year, specifically the first game versus Oregon. And we all know that Oregon's new head coach came from UGA. He's their old defensive coordinator. And we're just going to provide a perspective from the fans. I will make sure to reach out to some fans at UGA and see where their mind is about the upcoming season, how they feel about the year, who's the quarterback, how they feel about the changes, and things of that nature.
And myself personally, I got ties to Alabama, so I'm going to be bringing you news from Alabama as well as my deep love for Tennessee. So I got to have a winning and a losing team. So either way, between the two, we're going to bring you some Arkansas as well. So you're going to get a little mix of everything.
There we go. There we go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Me personally, I'm the biggest Razorback fan. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I'm the biggest Razorback fan, born and raised in Arkansas. So a lot of love will be shown to the Razorbacks, of course, with no bias opinion at all.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, definitely. We're going to definitely be trying to keep it 100% real. And hey, and if we not keeping it real, call us out. Comment below. Make sure that you're hitting the like and subscribe button, and also hit the bell, because you never know when we might post or pop up something on our social media content. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel for you all.
And also today we're going to start off talking about the NIL and the transfer portal. Something that I'm deeply concerned with, something that I wanted to have a conversation about for a long time. Because it's like, I'm all for college athletes getting paid. I'm all for the idea. But when 18 and 19-year-olds start demanding millions of dollars, things get a little, it gets a little different. I don't know how I feel about an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old demanding $3 million when there's professional athletes who don't get $3 million on their first rookie contract. So it's rubbing me a certain way, and I'm not sure how to feel.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all of that later in the show. Go ahead, Disney.
Okay. So we're gonna just jump into it, and we're gonna talk about some top news stories. We're gonna first bring you some information. I don't know if y'all heard about, but what AB said about Colin Kaepernick, the comments that he had on Cigar Talk, the podcast.
Yeah.
It seemed like, AB kind of ripped Kaepernick apart a little bit. He said, Brown said, but they gave him the money and they gave him a commercial. They gave him a documentary. He took a deal. We don't feel sorry for you. You took a deal. Fuck out of here. Excuse my French. Oh, Kaepernick. Yep.
Hey, that's what he said, though. I'll put it to you like this, man. He was also talking about, he not from the hood and all of this stuff. And one thing that I hate divisiveness, especially in the Black community. You can say he took a deal and all of that stuff, but AB, what have you done for the community? Did you stand up? Did you did you put your career on the line for yourself, not for millions and millions of other people? And then to sit there and call Colin Kaepernick trash, I hate when people, because if you actually want to go and you want to look up the numbers, when Colin Kaepernick played his last time he played was on a team where the O-line had all basically retired. His head coach was basically new, and he was injured all season. He had no chemistry with any other players, and he still was in the top 30. So there's people who couldn't even still hit their stats to this day. So to say that Colin Kaepernick don't belong in the league is BS. I mean, he doesn't have the wear and tear on his body now. He's 100% healthy.
Yep.
So I mean that whole you grew up in the hood stuff and didn't grow up in the hood. It's the same thing of the mentality of how they used to divide us from a field slave and a house slave.
Right.
If you want to be 100% honest. And
right.
My whole thing with Antonio Brown is I love Antonio Brown as an athlete, but I feel like Antonio Brown showed you the exact thing you should not do. He's a professional athlete, and you storm off the field by throwing your shoulder pads and back talking the coach. I feel like he showed you what you shouldn't do. And with our respects to Antonio Brown, who could have been a top receiver to ever play this game, sometimes he talks a little too much. And sometimes the Hollywood, the media, it gets to you. Every time you see Antonio Brown, he has this arrogance about himself. And he's like, come on, you know who I am. I'm Antonio Brown. You know what I do. And sometimes that can rub people the wrong way. Sometimes you need to be a little more humble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And especially when they told Antonio Brown, I mean, they both have played in the NFL 10 years. I mean, they ended for very different reasons. So, like you said, Kaepernick's career ended through acts of civil disobedience while Antonio Brown, just misbehaved and walked away. I mean, I'm sure there were other things as well going on with Brown, but the way that he left compared to what Kaepernick did, it's just hard to back that. That's all.
And to speak on the documentary, if you listen to what Kaepernick's college teammates had said about him and how he was trying to find himself, and the documentary lines up 100% with what they were saying. Like, I mean, it took us into why he did it. When he finally found himself, he's like, oh my God, like, this isn't something that, as someone who grew up in a Black household, these were things that, I were taught. Every black person who grew up with their Black parents had those talks, and it wasn't just one talk, it was multiple talks. He never had those talks, ever. Right. Not from no coaches, no nothing. He had to find himself. And then when he finds himself and he's expressive, we shun him. But now you want to talk about mental health and all of that stuff. Some people like Antonio Brown, I'm sorry, but you're fake.
Yeah. And I feel that. And it's like Colin Kaepernick, of course, QBs have down years. If you look at Russell Wilson, he's a guy, he's a great quarterback, but he's had some years that were questionable. He was injury prone. I think last year he missed a lot of games. I think he may have hurt his finger and his throwing hand, and where he's missed a couple games, and he's had some rough years. I feel like the same goes with Colin Kaepernick. You can't kick the man while he's down in his down years. He didn't get a chance to redeem himself. He didn't get a chance to get a team built around him. Remember, he stepped into a San Francisco team. He stepped into that team that was already built for another quarterback. And he came in and he did what he can do. He was Superman.
Just took him to a Super Bowl.
He took him to a Super Bowl. So my thing is, if they would have built around him again, I'm pretty sure Colin Kaepernick could have had some success, because the quarterback position is developing into a different thing these days. If you look at Lamar Jackson, if you look at Russell Wilson again, these guys are guys that can do more than just pass the football. And Colin Kaepernick brought those aspects. And that's something that's, you can't really look at the numbers and see the things that they do so well. You just have to put them on the field. As if, look at Vince Young and Tim Tebow, those guys who didn't have a lot of good numbers, but those guys could win you some football games.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we're about to switch gears. I know you football heavy, but there's another, going on right now. We got the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about, let's talk about last night's game. Okay. We got the Grizzlies versus the Warriors. We can go ahead and start on that.
That score was looking like what, 142 to 112. If you ask me, guys, I'm gonna be 100% honest. The Grizzlies are done. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, I love Ja. I love everything he does. I'm from closer to Memphis. I love the Memphis Grizzlies, but those Warriors, they have about those guys have about 4 or 5 guys that can really go right now. And Jordan Poole, who is up and coming, he's taking a lot of he's taking a lot of ideas from Steph Curry's game. He's hard to guard with the ball or without the ball. So it's a tough one for me. I just feel like the Grizzlies might not win another game. I'm sorry. If you feel different, please let me know. But me, I'm feeling good about the Warriors. I feel like they can only click more from here on out. It's a tough situation.
And with the Warriors team, look, you got the A team, A squad, B squad, C squad. Look, you can put any squad in there. They hitting threes.
What they were waiting on, Brad. This is exactly what the Warriors was waiting on. But did y'all hear about the comments or the situation between Ja Morant and Jordan Poole?
It was not a dirty play, if you ask me. It was a reflex play, if you ask me. But
so that was my first reaction, right?
Right.
That's my first. I'm like, he's going for the ball. I'm like, Ja being soft. But I saw a different camera angle where it showed basically like if you were standing directly in front of Ja, right? And when Jordan Poole went, I'm like, okay, maybe he's grabbing the ball, but the ball was nowhere near, and he hooked the knee. That was the thing. It would have been different if he had a swipe, but he hooked the knee. And that's where I was like, I'm not saying that there's ill intent behind it. I played football. Think your hand get caught up in face mask and stuff is not your intention. So to say, it was his intent, no, but it did look like that should not have happened.
Right. Now, Poole did release a statement. He said that it was a basketball play when we doubled him, and then he was trying to hit the ball. So he was right. He was going for the ball, and then wasn't trying. His intent was not trying to get Ja hurt. He's like, he's not even that type of player, and he respects everybody. He said he wishes him a speedy recovery and everything. So,
and I agree with Jordan Poole. I still feel I saw all those different angles. I saw them try to slow it down, try to make it look different. Of course, things look different when it's slowed down, when it's sped up. But if you ask me, I think it was a reflex play. They were playing basketball. I do not think he was trying to hurt Ja.
Nah.
I got you.
We'll see. We'll see when the next game comes up. Y'all said the Grizzlies are done, so we'll see on the next game. We got that. So switching gears to today, Dallas murdered the Suns, and I'm a little disappointed in that. But I'll let y'all talk about that.
Murder might be an understatement, boy. I'm talking about dude.
Hey, can I just say Luka's game?
Step back.
Luka's game is so slow and patient. I don't understand how it works so well sometimes. The guy knows what he's doing. That guy knows what he's creeping into the lane, and guys are just coming and swiping at him. He's taking his time. It's just a different type of basketball player. He did mention that it's so easy to score in the NBA, and the way he plays, I believe him. I feel like I can go get a bucket watching him.
Right. I mean, no. Hey, that's one of my biggest things, like about about the NBA is I kind of feel I'm his defense. I've always been a defensive guy. When I play basketball, you can always tell that's that football player on the basketball.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna shoot the ball.
That's not a good thing, by the way.
Stuff like that. Hey. I ain't bridge nobody or no crazy stuff like that. You ain't gonna get injured playing with me, but I'm aggressive. I want those
same with
basketball, man.
You said Draymond? Is that what you said? You said Draymond Green?
No, man, I ain't dirty like no Draymond. Don't do me like that.
Let's not call Draymond dirty. Let's not call him dirty. He put a lot on the line. He puts his body on the line. He puts everything into every play. I would not call him dirty. I want Draymond on my team.
I respect him. That was just a low blow.
He do be kicking nuts, though. He do
be
kicking
Right. Let me not talk about Grayson Allen now. Look, if we're talking about kicking nuts,
right.
Might as well go down the list. Look, let's go. Okay. All right. Well, look. Let's go ahead. We're going to switch gears. We're going to actually talk about what y'all came here for. Let's talk about some college football. So we talking about some long-term money versus some short-term money. So the name, image, and likeness. What you got for me, EG?
Wow. This is big to me. This is important. I feel like the regulations need to happen immediately. And for one, here's the deal. Let's say this NIL thing started when Johnny Manziel was playing. If Johnny Manziel tells me I want $5 million, I would give Johnny Manziel $5 million in a heartbeat because I know Johnny Manziel is gonna sell out the stadium. If we get jerseys on the market, Johnny Manziel jerseys will sell number one jersey in college football. He would do all these things. He will sell your tickets. But when you have a guy like Jordan Addison, he's a Balintikoff Award winner, sure. But do I think he can sell out a stadium by himself? No, I do not. Do I think his jerseys will be the number one selling jersey in college football? No, I do not. So a guy like that demanding six or seven figures, that's a little above where we should be right now. The NIL deals are just starting. I just feel like that's a bit much. How do you feel, Mike?
I I mean, I'm all right. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I'm 1,000% down for NIL. I'm 1,000% down for the transfer portal. But I'm 1,000% against how it's going down on both accounts. Like you said, the regulations need to be, handled immediately. Off air, e.g., me and you had this conversation. Football taught you about the game of life, not quitting, grinding, striving.
It's always someone working.
Yeah, always, harder. Man. Now it teaches you don't get your way, you get to go somewhere else. That teaches you nothing. And then also, when you put in the money aspect in it, the reason why I like college football was because of the grind. These men are fighting for something. They fighting to get to that next level.
Right.
Now, I'm scared that we're going to have Cinderellas all over the, hey. I mean, my team's not making the playoffs, so I'm just going to take, I'm going to take the rest of the season off. Or that team's going to the playoffs. I'm going to hop in the transfer portal, go transfer right over there. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. There are several. We're talking about over 3,000 student athletes who have no home. Not only are they not able to capitalize off of name, image, and likeness now, because if you go to some schools, they have it where the running back room, everybody get a check. The O-line room, everybody get a check. Now not only did you miss out on that, but now you don't get what you should have been going there for: a fallback plan, networking, connections, a degree, a fallback plan. You don't have that now. And guess what? If you do go back to school, it ain't no athletic scholarship, because guess what? Your time gonna be up. But you've been passed up.
And here's the thing. And, me and my guys joke a lot about this new era of football where both teams get a participation trophy. I am not a fan of both teams getting participation trophies. I'm not for catering to losers and winners. Guys, you have to win. You have to work hard. Winning is a testament to your work. It's not about showing these guys the same love as the winners. No, life doesn't work like that, because when you work a job, they're going to promote one guy up. They're not promoting 6 guys, even though this guy didn't work as hard as this guy. They're not promoting 6 guys up. They're promoting one person at a time. So I'm not for the jumping around and the participation trophy type of deal. That is not my thing.
That's the generation that we live in. And I'm going to say this, especially even in the workforce. Think about this, man. Because I was a manager and everything. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching people who are majority on their phone, constantly don't have good customer service, don't have, just not really taking care of business. But then they feel like, oh, I'll put a year in. You should promote me to bartender. You should promote me to this. You should promote me for what? Oh, because I put my time in. What? You weren't grinding out here.
Exactly.
You didn't try to get better. And everybody just want, hey, I did a little bit.
I did a little bit.
I did a little bit.
I showed up.
Accolades, you know.
And how does that make it for the other players on the team that you get someone in the transfer portal that comes in and take your position? Look, messes everything up. The dynamic, the team, the coaches, the other players, what they, the charisma, what they got with each other, it just messes up everything.
So let's use Bama. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this because this is one thing that is scaring a lot of Ohio State fans. Is the way Bama is doing it. So Bama go down, Mechie goes down, J-Mo goes ahead and wins them a game, right? Then now J-Mo goes down. None of the receivers step up. And then when Nick Saban talks about it, he said, because you're not starting, you don't want to get developed, you don't want to work and anything like this. You know what he did? I'm gonna replace your A double snakes. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did. He went into the portal and got 3 top wide receivers in the portal.
And speaking of,
and one who just won the national championship.
Can I piggyback on that really quick?
Yeah.
Jermaine Burton, a Georgia native who moved to California for maybe a year or so and came back and played for UGA. You're on a national championship team. Transfer portal allows you the ability to just say, you know what? I did my thing here. Let me go to Alabama. I feel like they have a good chance next year.
He knows Georgia ain't getting it next year. He won another ring.
He won another ring. That's cool, but I don't like that idea. I don't like how guys can just, okay, everything was going well for him at UGA. He was going to be the man next year, but he just said, you know what? Let me take my talents to Bama. I do not like how that works. I think there needs to be more rules on the transfer portal. I think
like this. Everybody, mainstream media will have you thinking that J-Mo that transferred to Bama was not a starter, right?
Right.
Mainstream media will have you thinking that. But he was a starter. If you go back to the 2020 season, he was a starter.
Right.
Same thing. The thing was he knew Bama did not have depth at the wide receiver, and he was able to capitalize more on that. Now, like this year, right here, if he had to stay at Ohio State, this year would have been J-Mo's year, But he was able to go ahead and get it early because he knew. So it's like I can't hate on him on that. You know what I'm saying? So it benefited him. But some of these players, but he got developed. That's the thing. I can see you transferring in your 3rd year. If you're not in the too deep or something like that, or you want to do what J-Mo did. Because J-Mo didn't transfer to a Kansas or, to some. He went shoot.
He went big on big.
Level.
He went big on big.
As a Ohio State fan, I would like to say that he went, on the same level. But I mean, really, Bama is the elitist of college football. That's just
shout out to the SEC.
Yeah, man. The SEC is Bama. Flat out. That's how I feel about the SEC is Bama.
And I don't see how you can't keep a guy like that happy. I feel like you should have never let a guy like that get away. When I see that guy just running on the field, you just know he's special when you see him running. Wow. He's just like he's gliding on the turf. Like I would never let a guy like that get away. But Bama has the power to get anyone in college football.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you why he left. So Ohio State originally under Urban Meyer had this thing where we're rotating 6 receivers, but since Coach Hart has, and I was under Zach Smith, Urban Meyer's gone, Zach Smith is gone. Now Coach Hart has came in, and his thing was like, no, I'm gonna play the 3 wide receiver. Where that's how you got Chris Olave, breaking Ohio State records and only being there for 4 years. You got Garrett Wilson breaking records, only being there for 3 years. That's how you end up having that. And with J-Mo, if we had been rotating, you know what I'm saying? If we had been rotating like we should have, and keeping him happy. And that's the thing. And I'll tell you this, I think this is also going to happen. You're going to start watching teams running up the score. You know how like Bama or Ohio State might get up on opponents and the score is like 56-7, and all they're doing in the 4th quarter is running the ball and running the ball. That crap is going to stop because that quarterback that's behind my starter, I gotta get him ready. I gotta let him know. I gotta let him be able to show his talent. You know,
Right.
I gotta show him that I can develop him and where he's at. I'm like, hey, you're next up. You know, pat him on the back. Hey, you're next up. You got to get these guys playing, because if they're like, oh, if I could play here at Bama, I could play at Ohio State, Georgia, I could play on the big stages, even though I'm not getting enough time. My time is coming, but I'm playing. I'm playing.
Right. So
Right.
I have a question. I have a question for you guys. I would like to know. So this latest NFL draft, I feel like it was one of the best drafts for wide receivers it's been in a long, long time. And you got Wilson, you got Olave, you got the Treylon Burks, you got Jamerson Williams, you have Mechie. Who do you guys feel like is going to have the best rookie campaign? I know who I feel like is going to be the best rookie. I want to know who you guys feel like is going to have the best rookie campaign. Who's going to make an immediate impact on the next level?
Okay.
Those Ohio State guys showed up and showed out at the combine. Those guys surprised me. I did not think they could jump as high. I saw it throughout the year. I didn't think they could jump as high, run as fast. It was just mind-blowing to see what those guys did.
So my daughter is in gymnastics, and I'm thinking about putting my son in gymnastics. And the reason being is Garrett Wilson's not 6 feet, right?
Right.
And his mom had him in gymnastics.
Wow.
Since he was 8 years old.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah, and his catch radius is just through the roof. So I'm thinking about putting my son in gymnastics until he's about 8 or 10 as well. But honestly, the best one who I think has the opportunity is, I'm going to say, is Chris Olave. Reason being is because he has already a dynamic threat in Michael Thomas. Yes, Michael Thomas has been out with injury, but still, teams have had to double team Mike. You know, now you have Chris Olave who doesn't just have big playability, but he can catch the ball in short yardage and is a threat to take it all the way as well. So when you have two of those guys and the type of offense that New Orleans has, and then you also got Alvin Kamara. I mean, I think he's set up to have more success in that type of offense.
Well, I will tell you who I feel the best about. And guys, I am not biased. Please do not hit me with that mic. All right. So I'm going Treylon Burks for the Tennessee Titans. And here's why. The Tennessee Titans traded away their number one wide receiver. So Treylon Burks can go in with the option to be the number one guy right off the bat. The Saints have, as you said, Michael Thomas. The Saints have Michael Thomas. He's the outright number one receiver probably in the NFL right now before injury. He's the outright number one guy. So Olave, he's going to be kind of the second option if we're being honest. Treylon Burks get to go in with Derrick Henry getting 200 carries on the year. He has the opportunity to go in one-on-one with most of his DBs starting out. He'll be one-on-one, and he'll get most of the targets. I feel like he has a great opportunity to show up in that rookie year if healthy.
Percentage-wise, what's the percentage of the Titans throwing the ball and running the ball?
Yeah, the Titans are a run-heavy team. I agree.
About 60-40, 70-30?
I agree. They're about 60-40 because if you look at A.J. Brown's numbers, A.J. Brown had numbers. He was the number one receiver.
New Orleans, before Jameson Winston got hurt, they were probably 80-20.
Yep.
Courtesy of Drew Brees. Because Brees.
No, I'm not talking about Drew Brees. I'm talking about J-Mo before he got hurt when J-Mo was a starter.
Okay.
Last year. They were like 80-20. They were throwing that ball, and he looked good.
Yeah, and I like Jameis Winston. But my thing is, New Orleans is a pass-heavy team. But is there another receiver that had nearly as many catches as Michael Thomas? Who was the second leading receiver on that team, and how close was his yards to Michael Thomas?
I mean, Michael Thomas was the reason they got rid of Brandon Cooks. But I believe being the number two option also gives you more
one-on-one. one-on-one
it's going to
coverage.
give you more opportunities. And I mean, to be honest, you got to think about it. These defensive coordinators in the league, you know, they're going to make Olave prove himself before they double him. And when he does prove himself,
oh yeah,
I mean, those are more opportunities than what I think. And to be honest, I think I'm gonna take if I'm doing fantasy draft, I'm taking Jameis Winston over Ryan Tannehill.
Of course.
So again, I don't like Ryan Tannehill's mindset.
I don't either.
You think he gonna really work with Treylon Burks to get chemistry?
But
no.
My thing is,
no.
You have the best running back in the NFL currently. When you can hand this guy the ball 30 times a game, that provides a different aspect to your passing game. That provides a lot of opportunity for play action for guys to be open.
So are we talking about which teams are going to which team is going to do better, or we're talking about which player is going to like, what I'm trying to say? Because if we're going to talk like stats and catches and numbers, I'm giving the edge to the New Orleans Saints versus Treylon Burks. I just hate that he fell in that position because, to be honest, I would have liked to see him more in a pass heavy team. I think he's going to be.
But did we forget where the Titans ended last year? I hope we didn't forget where the Titans ended. The Titans are a playoff team.
Yeah.
But why didn't they win? Because they couldn't pass the ball.
I feel that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you ain't Ryan Tannehill ain't winning you no Super Bowl. He just not. And then let's say God forbid, let's say he get hurt. Your backup quarterback ain't ready because the leadership told him what? The leadership ain't there. There is no leadership, and that's that. When I saw what Ryan Tannehill said, I'm like, you ain't winning no championship because the leadership is gonna win you. When think about what the championship team said, everything in the locker room was different. We were more closer. They always say that.
Yeah, yep. And I already don't like Tannehill's mindset for when he talked about Malik Willis and he said he's not here to help the guy get better. You are there to do that. The guy is a rookie. I don't like his mindset already. I feel like he's kind of on edge. He's uptight about what's going on in Tennessee. I feel like you need to have a different outlook. You need to be more positive.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. All right. So I think that's going to be all for today. But thank you for listening to The Fans Edge. And please go to our Anchor page and feel free to leave as a voice message. Let me go ahead.
Please follow The Fans Edge. Shout out to the super producer, Disney. Yeah. Shout out 216 Wild Boy Mike and your boy EG Laflare. It's been fun, man. It's been a great first show. I like how it started. Me and Mike will be battling throughout the year, of course, because, he's a Big Ten guy. I'm an SEC guy / ACC guy. He's diving into the Pac-12. We'll be competing a lot. I think it'll be.
We're talking about the SEC and their FCS schedule.
Hey,
it's okay. It's okay. I can't dog you on no more because the Big Ten is starting to do it again too.
Hey, if you look at the toughest schedules in the conferences, it's always an SEC school with the toughest
I don't understand it when you're playing lesser
in the conference. In the country, excuse me. It's always an SEC team. I think Tennessee was one of those teams that had the toughest schedule. Arkansas was a team that had one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Whose metric?
But this is 24/7. This is Bleacher Report's metric. This is 24/7's reportings. These are things not from my point of view. This is things you can find on the internet.
From the SEC point of view, who as CBS is ranked 24/7.
We know who's running college football right now. It's
Disney.
Look, me. I'm running college football right now, so the SEC about to be on top.
True.
Exactly. All right. So make sure
nothing else for y'all.
Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, any social media platforms. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, retweet, all of that, and hit us up with any questions. And make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back next week, same time.
Let's do it.
We out.
Yeah, we're still recording. I need